Over the previous years, a lot of people have been asking me of the kind of softwares that I use in my productions and in my tutorials, and I see there's no better time to share with you the softwares that I use when it comes to creating content for social media and for clients and even for personal consumption of content. So audio recording, I use Adobe Audition to record. Sometimes I use inbuilt softwares, like when I'm recording on a camera or on a phone, it's just an inbuilt system that records the sound. But when I want to record and edit sound on my PC, I use the Adobe Audition. It's good. It has more tools for editing your sound. You can make your sound feel good. You can reduce noise, and there's much more that you can do with Adobe Audition. In editing, okay, before I even go to editing, yes, Premiere Pro has an element of editing sound. I only use it when the sound is not that much degraded, but normally my to-go-to platform is Adobe Audition. Video editing, it's Premiere Pro. I think there is no software that is parallel to that. Before I used to use Vegas, but for me I found Vegas to be a little bit tedious, but that is only me. Vegas is a good software, but I just have been accustomed to Premiere Pro. Motion graphics, that's After Effects. I think that one for me has just been simple. I've never used any other software for motion graphics, but for modeling, 3D modeling, I use Blender. Now for pictures and still graphics, I use Photoshop, and just to animate it now, carry it to Adobe After Effects. For pictures, sometimes I use Photoshop and sometimes I use Lightroom, but my to-go-to platform is Photoshop. I think for me that just works well. For encoding, sometimes you've created a lot of videos and you just want to go to sleep and leave everything to be rendering off one after another, so I use encoder. And one of the things that I love is that Photoshop, Premiere Pro, all those softwares plus the encoder plus the Audition, all of them are from Adobe, so you just get all of them and they work really well one with another. So the encoding just helps me to render things without being there. So I just put them on a list. I just queue all of the things that I want to render or to export, and then I just click start and I go and do my other things, and I come back, everything is done and dusted. For compressing, I always compress my footage because I share them with clients and I don't want the client to get like a 20 gig file if they can just get it in like 3-4 gigs. So I always use Handbrake. It has worked well for me over the years and I still do trust it. But for conversions, I use Format Factory for converting files from one format to another. You can just import them on your editing softwares and render them with other formats, but that is tedious. I can just pick it, drag and drop it into Format Factory, select the output that I want, and then just click on start, and it just gives me the format that I want. Format Factory even has a screen record feature. I've used it several times and it worked well for me, but with time I just tried OBS and I found that OBS was much simpler and faster when it comes to screen recording. Even in stitching the final footage, OBS did it very, very, very well. In playback, for playing back the content that I have done, I used VLC. I've used VLC ever since I was in college when I first tried it out, and it's been over a decade just using VLC, and I highly recommend that you try VLC because in my experience, if it doesn't play on VLC, it can't play anywhere else. So when you have VLC, make sure that you just keep on updating it so that it can be able to get all the features and the updates that it needs to work perfectly. Even sometimes just getting screen grabs of videos, just use VLC. It just gives me a good screen grab with the recording or with the resolution of the current footage that is playing on VLC. For streaming, I use vMix. it's a bit confusing, VLC, vmix. But for streaming, I use vmix. I've used OBS, but I find vmix to have more features, and I can do a lot more on vmix that on OBS. So, and vmix, I use it not only for streaming but even for live production. Sometimes you don't have the time to go back and start editing. You just do everything on vmix. You just get your audio inputs, your video inputs, your graphics and everything, and you just do it on vmix. Now vmix has an update this year. This is 2025. It has the update, the version 28. It has double the overlays from 4 to 8. It has increased the streaming sites from 3 to 5, and it has a lot more features. So if you can, grab yourself vmix version 28. When I do, I'll be able to leave you a tutorial or a walkthrough of what to expect and what is new. Downloading files from YouTube, I use either just Chrome. I get the link and I just search for our site to download it. I also use YouTube Downloader. It works very well, but sometimes I find it a little bit limiting. But over the years, I've used YouTube Downloader together with Chrome based on the computer that I'm using. I haven't installed YouTube Downloader on all of my computers, so most of the times it's Chrome, sometimes is on YouTube Downloader. Now, for accessing my phone camera on the PC, I use Camera Studio. I did an explainer video on how that works. You can go back and check it out. It's a good software and it helps you, especially when you're doing live production and you don't have enough cameras. You can just plug in your phone, install the app, and use your your phone's camera on your streaming and production platforms. So that's Camera Studio, very good software. You can check it out. And the operating system, actually I'm a Windows person. I've used Windows for all of my life. When I say all of my life, is the life that I have done content. For a brief period of time, I've used Apple softwares, but with time, since a lot of the computers that I have run on Windows, I just find it easier to be on Windows, so that it's even easier just to switch files, and you can start working on a computer in the office and just carry the file, come and finish it at home without having to think about whether it's going to be compatible, whether it's going to be easy to share files. So for me, Windows has worked well for now. If I test Apple and I see it works better, then I'll be able to switch everything from Windows to Apple. My phone runs on Android. All of my phones, actually, they've run on Android, and so far so good. I think I love Android because it is more flexible to run apps. There's a lot that you can do. There's a lot of breaking in that you can do on Android, and as a creative, sometimes you just want something that challenges you, and I think that has worked for me over the years. So there are a lot of other softwares that I use, but not for production, but just to make life easier. But when it comes to softwares, those are the ones that I use. And I think this information can be of help to you. Please continue to support us by subscribing, sharing our content with your friends, and liking the content. Comment on what you'd want us to do or to cover or to say. That is what helps us, to be able to create content that you can be able to use. Until next time, have yourselves a good one. Goodbye. God bless.